Hey y'all, y'all, it's been crazy. Yes, babe, just let me do it real quick. Babe, just stay. Okay. Y'all, I am sorry. My husband was gone for 2 weeks. It has been crazy. I was trying to get some videos out for you, and it just did not work this last couple weeks. I'm gonna try to just kind of knock them out. They may not be edited well. They may look a lot like this, but I just want to get you the helpful hints that some ladies have sent in to me. So I hope it's not too late for you to receive them. So I'm just gonna knock out some of those things like the grout I talked to you about, stuff like that, and try to send them on to you. Thank you so much to the ladies who have helped with this series. I know that it is helpful to those of us who have moved or haven't moved. I've loved watching the tips from ladies, even though they may not be like what I'm not moving now, but they're good. So anyway, my room was just bombarded. I'm not redoing this. I'm just gonna get them out to you. My husband is back, hallelujah. And we had a really sweet reunion, and now let me try to get these videos out to you. Thanks for watching. Thanks for helping if you sent videos, and let's do this.
Hi ladies. Rachel asked me if I would give a tip for packing and preparing to move. As you know, I'm right there with you trying to get ready for a move across several states. To the great state of Texas. And so one of my greatest tips that I could give to you is to plan. And the way that I do that is a trick I learned a long time ago from somebody else. I don't even remember who, that was a lot smarter than me, but it's called reverse engineering, where you take the end product that you want to achieve and you start engineering back to see how you get to that product. Well, the way that I do that is with a calendar. And so once I know that I'm moving, I simply take, print off plain calendars from, the internet. And I start back, I knew I was moving in March, so there is March. And I started working backwards, but where I start with that calendar is actually June, which I was showing you to begin with. But I start with the day I know that I'm moving, and I work backwards from there. So if I know the last few things that I want to do are clean the house, do the windows, do that last deep cleaning, I'll start there, and I start working backwards from there. On this calendar, I put some of the major events that are happening, in the division. We just had women's retreat, as I know Texas did. And so, those were major, major places on my calendar that I had to hold a lot of space for. So I started working backwards and saying, okay, well, maybe on Mondays I'm going to try to work from home and get a few things done with packing. And then once women's retreat was over and I could spend a few more days at the house, I just blocked off some days there, did a lot of work from home, finance board off Teams. But when I wasn't doing those things, then I had some uninterrupted time to really work on that final packing. So I could give you a lot of other tips, but so many of those have already been shared about color coding your boxes, clearly marking things. Some people even keep a list of what they put in every single box. I've seen people take a picture of what's in the box and put it on the outside even. So there's a lot of ways to do it, just depending on what works best for you. And I've done it several different ways, depending on how I'm moving, whether it's with the pods or with the truck or a moving company. So, but the greatest tool that I use is this calendar, because that gets me started. I know what my end is, and I work backwards from there. And that way I'm not rushed at the end, and I can actually enjoy some time with the people that I'm about to leave, and just spend time with them and loving on them and getting some love in return, and putting some margin and some white space on my calendar. so that I actually have time to breathe and I'm not exhausted when I get to the next place, because none of us know what waits for us there. And we can be the most prepared when we've left well. And I want to make sure that I leave my place well for the next person. So hope that's helpful to you. If you haven't done your calendar yet, it's not too late. You still have like 6 weeks when I'm recording this, and you still have time to make a good plan. So make sure you do that. Much love to you and happy packing.
Hi, Rachel. It's Major Marian Durham, and I'm still farewelling from Ocala, Florida to Louisville, Texas. And I'm here in a room that I cleaned out years ago, early on in my appointment, that had just been a storage room that I turned into a Christmas room. And on one side here, you'll see that we have all of our angel tree supplies. And then the rest of the room is labeled and marked with Christmas decorations and other seasonal things. And so what I want to share with you is to keep things as organized as possible so that the person who follows you just really, it's easy that first Christmas to find what goes where all the decorations go. So I've got a couple tips on that I want to show you. And you see that I have put wreaths everywhere all over this room, just with command hooks. So I've got wreaths on the door and then wreaths on the wall. And one thing that I did at the end of my 5th Christmas, so because I figured I was probably moving, was I made sure to label all of the wreaths so that you could see where they were hung in the past. So this wreath says platform. Because there's nothing worse than coming into an appointment and you've got boxes of decorations and you don't know what the precedent is. So take pictures if you have them, or maybe you have some pictures left over from your last Christmas and you could include that in your brief. Or maybe you just need to spruce things up, and it doesn't take but a minute to put a little, and this is just like a Post-it note kind of label. It stuck on itself, and so I wrapped it on a branch to make it easy for my successor, Major Lynn Irish, you're welcome, so that you could see. So like here it says chapel garland, modesty rail, so that she knows what's been done. Now, of course, she can change things however she wants, but at least that first Christmas, you're not scrambling and you know where things go. Another thing that I've done is I choose a different theme every Christmas. And so here on this rack, I have decorations that we've used in the past by theme. So I have things like one year, our theme was Candy Cane Christmas. So I've got all of the Candy Cane Christmas, all those things are right there together. Or here I have, this says lobby tree. So that Lynn will know what decorations were in the lobby, what decorations were in the chapel, and so forth and so on. So it's just a great way to leave things the best that you possibly can. Obviously, I have some fall decorations in here as well. And you know how you're always looking for wreath hangers on the door to this room? I just put all the wreath hangers all in one place so that they would be able to find those quickly and easily. I hope this is helpful to you as you're preparing not just your home, but your core for your leaving, to leave things just as organized as you possibly can. And of course, I'm going to put all of this in my brief so that it's detailed and as organized as possible. Now, you may not have a room this size, and I totally get that. I have been there. But you've got some space somewhere with all your stuff. Just make sure it's as organized as you could possibly leave it, just the way you would want to find it as you're preparing for your first Christmas and your new appointment. Thanks, everybody. I hope you have a great move. Bye-bye.
Hello, welcome to Carrie's Corner, where we talk about tips and tricks to help us transition to our next appointment and help those that are following us start well. Today we're just going to talk a few things for week 5 about what we can do to help us as we get prepared for this transition. Number 1, you can start, if you haven't already, notify by email or in however you prefer to communicate, to make sure that the agencies and community partners that you work with, especially in your big events, know that the transition is happening and who they can connect with for the event that happens next. A lot of times I'll copy the new officer on those emails so that we can make sure that they have that connection when they arrive. The other thing that I try to do for a lot of our things now is to, instead of giving my personal email address, I give the Parker or the appointment specific email address for those things, so that even if we were to miss notifying someone, that the appointment would not be interrupted with some sort of service, especially with vendors and that kind of thing. So we have really tried to use that appointment mailbox whenever possible to avoid that disruption in service. The other thing that I would just suggest for this week is to make sure that you start planning the welcome meeting for the officers that are following you. You start planning that with your core council, so that you think about things like who's going to pick up the fried chicken for the meal afterwards. If there's going to be elements of the program that need to be done by members of your congregation, you'll want to make sure that that is in place. And then you'll also want to coordinate with DHQ to find out if anyone is coming to do an installation of the officer. And if that's the case, you'll want to make sure that they're on the program as well. Now, the officers coming to you may not know what they're preaching on yet, but at least you'll have the main meat of the program complete. And then once you can get that information as far as scripture and sermon title, then you can plug those in and then have those printed before you leave. That's really all I have for week 5. Know that now is a great time to get started on the packing and any of your unused spaces. Start getting those together. If you've got guest rooms that you can go on and get cleaned out, go ahead and do that. We've got graduation coming up, so we'll still have to use our guest rooms for a little bit, but once that is complete, then we can get those rooms kind of shut down and not be used anymore. And then that way, at the end of our time here, we just have to do one quick sweep through of all of that. Now that it's getting warmer, you can start cleaning the windows, getting the window sills cleaned out. If it's dry, you can use a vacuum to do that. If it's wet, then you can utilize paper towels and that kind of thing, but get those good and clean. There's great hacks about windows on YouTube, like everything else. There was a little delay in our grout cleaning gear that we got from Amazon, but it is here now, and I'm hoping in the next couple of weeks we'll get to see hopefully some amazing results from the drill attachments for the grout cleaning. Until next time, just know that you are loved and that you are prayed for, and you've got this. See ya.
Okay, that's it. So I'm just going to go ahead and sign off from here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for helping. Thank you for all of the helpful tips. Subscribe if you don't want to miss those last ones, because I'm just going to kind of post them randomly to get them out there for you. And as always, enjoy this crazy calling. See you next time.